All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Devin using the podcast. Today we're back with another brand new album review. Today we're going to be talking the blues album by Whitesnake, which y'all last was tackling that album, and we aren't going to lie to you people, but we're back for another episode. Got with me as always, Mr. Stephen Mott. How you doing, Stephen?
Great brother Jake.
All righty, and that's he's not the only one we got here with us. We got someone else here with us from episode, I believe it's 15 or 16, the Leonard Skinner record review that we did. Mr. Gerald Pete Turner is with us. How you doing, Pete?
What up, man? What you doing?
All righty, so we already can tell what kind of episode this is going to be tonight. So Pete's really kind of going to sit back tonight on the podcast. I asked him last minute to be on the podcast. He's kind of sit in with us. So we're going to have him back on definitely for another review coming very, very soon. So this was Steven's pick. He just mentioned Whitesnake the Blues album. Well, okay, that's interesting. And so I listened to this album and really liked it, ordered it, and listened to it again, and listened to it today on my stereo prior to it. And I'll get into more of the album, talk about the track by track. So I'll pass it off to Steven. What do you have to say, kind of opening thoughts on this record?
Well, I'd never heard anything much off of it before, but I didn't recognize anything of it. The only reason I know anything about Whitesnake because Devon here had listened to it on the bus at school and stuff, and now I have got him back into it now. So thanks to me, he's got back into it, and I chose this album because I thought it'd be interesting and different to do than our normal occasionals, and so I guess that's about it. And I just thought it'd be cool to do one of these new release things, the remasters. And speaking of remasters, the production wasn't all that great. So we're going to get into that a little bit later. So back to you, Devin.
We disagree already on this album. So let's go ahead and dive into this record. The very first track on here, "Steal Your Heart Away." Steven, take this track.
Well, this one was pretty decent, actually. This is one of the brighter spots. Well, actually, one of two bright spots, I should say. Let's see, verbatim notes. Decent sounding, comma, but descends down a hill quickly and gets worse and craps over. So anyway, in all, it was a good song, but it just kind of it's the same thing over and over, and it's that blues riff kind of thing they were trying to achieve with it, with the harmonica and the slide and stuff, and that sounded pretty good. But after a while, I got kind of tired of it over and over. So anyway, it was decent, and back to you, Dad.
So, "Steal Your Heart Away" from the Forevermore album, the album from I believe 2011. This opens that album as well. So, yeah, I think it's a really good song. I think the production's just fine on this album. I'm very impressed with this album. I really say. I think that overall the remixes are extremely well done. In particular, some coming up, actually changed the whole entire song. So that's my thoughts on "Steal Your Heart Away." I really love it. Great for recent Whitesnake track on the Forevermore album. That's pretty much all I have to say about that one. Then we'll move to the next track, "Good to Be Bad." So, Steven, take this.
Not all that great at all, and doesn't sound that bluesy to me. Um, Anyway, I guess that's kind of an element to it or something, but of rock. But it sounds more rock than anything to me. But and it should not be on this album at all. I'm just kidding. I don't know anything about that sort of thing with Whitesnake. Whatever Whitesnake wants to call blues is okay with me. But it's not something I would go back and listen to again at all. And it's a phantom of doo doo. So back to you, Devin.
All right, so this is a really good kind of sleazy number. Kind of sounds like Ready and Willing title track from that album, 1980. Very, very cool song. Oh, just the remix, really just awesome. So, if you're going to listen to this album, I definitely recommend listening to it on a good stereo with a good pair of headphones or earbuds or something, because it's really, really, really awesome. So, then we'll move to the next track, Give Me All Your Love. So, this is off of 87. So, Steve, take this rec.
So this one is very stupid, and I don't like the lyrics, and it's like it's just the generic lyrics that have been used over and over. Like I think at one point in this song it says, I think this is the one. It might say something like a dog without a bone or something. Or how many times has that been said? I guess it's trying to add the blues element to it or whatever, you know. But I just, man, it's overused. But that's not the only overused thing they used in this song. And I get this, I'm not sure, but this is just an assumption that Coverdale does a lot of the lyric writing and is a lyricist and stuff, because I see a pattern in some of this. And Devin, seems like Devin's told me before that Coverdale does a lot of that. So is that right, Devin? Did Coverdale have a lot to do with writing this stuff?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's the main lyricist.
Yeah, I figured that because I can kind of see a pattern with this stuff, and at times it's good, but sometimes it's like he don't know what to do, so he just goes like back to the whole thing, like dog without a bone, or going around in circles, or give me all your love, I mean, whatever, whatever. And also, I would like to add that I would not feed this song or this whole album. I would not feed this to a dog. So, anyway, just a little for grins and giggles, as someone we know would say. But anyway, back to you, Devin.
Alrighty, so Give Me All Your Love. I always love this song. It's from the '87 album, as you said, going into this track. I really, really enjoy this remix. This album, in particular, the '87 album, I think it's really helped by the production style out here, the mixing style. Yeah, this is the '88 remix where pretty much Vivian Campbell recorded a version of the solo, and from what I watched an interview with Coverdale on this album, he said they basically took the keyboards and lowered them in the mix and basically brought the rhythm up in the track. And that's very interesting. And I think it very much adds to this song. Really, really great song. I love it. I like it so much. So we'll go to the next track. Take Me Back Again. Stephen, take this song.
This song is very dull, and I just found it just kind of, I don't know. It just needs to be returned back to the store. Is what it needs to do. It just sucks altogether, and it's crap together. I don't know what album this was originally off of, but it shouldn't have been on nothing. Should have been on this. Shouldn't have been on the album it was on, and it should have been thrown into the garbage heap forever, and dead and gone. So, back to you, Devin.
Alrighty, so this is a song, I'll say right now, the album I originally did not like. Restless Heart is an album that I really, really did not care for. I listened to it before. I went back and revisited that album because of this record, and I don't hate it as much as I did back then. I've actually kind of dig it. It's just overall the mix on that album that really killed me. This brings a whole new kind of feel to this song. It's really freaking good. Really good solo from Adrian Vandenberg, and it beats the drums up. There's some rhythm in here that's from Joel, I believe. And really, really good song. Really, really good song. Very much. It's beefed up by the remix. The remix definitely helps this song. So Moving to the next track, slow and easy. Steven takes the track.
Well, it starts off too slow, and if I remember right, this is the same one. Um, that I remember. It just has like this slow thing, and it's just him singing and like the orchestral thing playing in the back, and it's just I don't know. It's bad, and it never picks up really. They bring the instruments in, but it goes downhill quick, quick and I was going to say quick and slow, not making sense. And this actually makes me want to flush myself down the toilet. This song. So back to you, Devin.
All right, so slow and easy. This from the Slide It In album, and this kind of sounds like the UK mix of this song, especially in the way the drums are mixed. This song I've always loved. It's classic bluesy Whitesnake song, co-written by Mickey Moody. Really, really good song. We'll move to the next track. Too Many Years on another one from Restless Heart album. So Steve, take this track.
Well, the only thing on this besides the first song that sounds even remotely blues, verbatim notes part two. Anyway, the guitar riff, well not the riff, but some stuff in this one, the guitar work sounded bluesy to me, and or like closer to what I listen to anyway, or what I know of. Anyway, some of the lead stuff, but the it's like the riffs and everything on this whole album to me, maybe except the first song, sounded mainly rock, which is obviously what Whitesnake is gonna be. But to me, to be called a blues album, it just doesn't have. I know it's supposed to be like a mix of both, but it doesn't quite have enough blues stuff in it for to be called that to me. To have a blues name on the cover and all this, and then you hear a lot of this all rock riffs. I mean, rock like main riffs and stuff, and all this stuff. I don't know. I just don't think it quite anything on this quite fits that description, and that's gonna prove in my rating. So stay tuned for that. So back to you, Devin.
All right, well, I'll just go ahead and say that you're wrong on all counts. I mean, you're completely wrong. This is all blues. I don't know where you get this at.
Oh
You're fired.
yeah.
You're fired. You're no more fired. No more blues.
No
So
more blues.
I'll move on now. Too many tears. Well, before I do, let's check in with Pete. What you up to, Pete? We ain't said nothing to you in a while.
I'm sitting here making me enough.
All righty then. We sitting here making a night. So, okay. So then we move to Too Many Tears. My opinion on that song. So another one from Restless Heart, as I said at the opening track. Really, really good remix. It really amps up the particular song. Two versions of this released. A version of the Restless Heart version. Whole Into the Light album. But yeah, this really is a very powerful song. I really enjoy it. So there you go. So let's move to the next track. Lay Down Your Love. So this is from The Good to Be Bad. So Steven, take this.
I think we're on track number 7, if I'm not bad mistaken. And
Yep.
let's see. I don't know. It's a bad song, and it sucks bad. Uh, let's see. And also, it's like I said, it just has a like a rock riff. If I don't know, I think probably if I remember right, it does. And then I'm probably wrong, but then I would like to say too that some of the production on this, I like some of it, but then like towards the second half of the album, like about where we're getting to right now, it starts to go downhill and quick and easy, and I don't know. I think the original I like the more raw sound from Whitesnake better, and this whole album sounds more to the other side of the spectrum to me. But I don't really like it as much. I like the more raw Whitesnake sound. So back to you, Devin.
So yeah, I love the song. Really, really good. Current, more recent Whitesnake song. Really, really like it from the Good to Be Bad album. It's a really good album, actually. And I really enjoy it. I think the production very much serves it. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Then we'll move to the next track, The Rivers. Steven, take this.
This one sounded like it had a very generic riff to me, and it was probably put together within about 15 minutes. And it was stupid, and it was, quote from my notes, a load of garbage. So take that as you will, and take it and run with it, and run over the hill, because that's what I am already, is over the hill. So back to you, Devin.
Alrighty, so the River song. I really dig this song. First time I'd ever heard this song was on this release. And I really want to go check that record out, Into the Light album. So interesting that he said that he called this a Whitesnake album. And I'm definitely going to check that. I meant to check it out before we did this. And that's all I have to say about this record. And the next track on the record, Whipping Boy Blues. Please take this.
All right, this one had terrible production. This is the only one on the album that I absolutely hated the production on. It just sounded like it was in a box or something. It sounded cheap. It sounded like something I recorded, to be honest with you. That's something I mixed, which is not, just to put it into perspective, not good at all. It's a never-ending pile of crap. So I don't know. It sucked. Back to you, Devin.
All right. I really like it. Good little bluesy song and really good album and Forevermore, actually. I didn't talk about that album. But yeah, it's a really freaking good song. Good, bluesy. Really, really enjoy it. Really good remix on here. Then we'll move to track number 10 if you want. So Steve will take this track.
Well, this one, I don't know. It's not. It's not some. This whole album is not. Devin, we're gonna fight on this podcast. This is not blues. Devin. He's a liar. This is not blues, and this is a never-ending heap of doo-doo crap. I will never listen to this again. This whole album ever again. This is the last time. This is premiere crap. So this one not good on any respect. Not all that great by any means. So back to you, Devin.
All right, so this is the last episode of Dunnigan and Mont Music Podcast. Next week we have Gerald come on here, and it'll be the Dunnigan Turner podcast from now on. No more blues forever. Steven,
no more blues crap.
Contract with me at terminate. I'll find someone else. So, yeah, if you want me, I will say if there's one track on here that I think doesn't quite fit, it's probably this one. I still enjoy it though. So yeah, good mix, really like it. And that's pretty much all I have to say. So then we'll move to the next track, A Fool in Love. So Steven, take this one.
No. Probably. Anyway, that just I had wrote that on my notes, and I was gonna say it or die. So anyway, no, this is that. Yeah, that sums up this whole album. No, to all of it. Never again. This is stupid crap. You need to flush this down the toilet, Devin. This is not good.
This is like someone else. Man, sweet.
Back to you, Devin.
Okay, so this is going to be released April Fool's. So I'm going to go ahead right now and say April Fool's on this album. I hate this entire album. This is terrible. Worse than anything we've done before.
I agree completely.
I'm definitely disagree with that statement for myself.
5150 might have been worse, but I'm not sure.
It's definitely not as good as this album. This sounds so much better. But yeah, at least I'm not getting mad this week, and I'm not just interested like on the twofer we did last week. It turned out to be a pretty good episode, actually. But I actually, at one point, got mad on it. So just about through something, for those of you who don't know. So, yeah, A Fool in Love. This is from Good to Be Bad. Again, love it. I think great song. Then we'll move to the next track, Woman Trouble Blues. Steven, take this song. Hater.
Well, LOL. TBH.
Laugh out.
TBH, I think, this album is going to turn out about like this podcast is going to turn out because the audio is not that great. I'm not going to lie. So, it's just going to be equal partners, a partnership between us and this album. This is just our way of saying thank you to Whitesnake because for putting out an album that we could really identify with. Just thank you so much, and we're going to match that with our crap piece of our own. And you ask yourself, what am I doing with my life? Well, I don't know. I can't. Only your mom can answer that. So, back to you, Devin.
Woman Trouble Blues. Do you even give a freaking opinion on this song? See, I mean, I don't even think you can give an opinion. You just went off on talking about eating Debbie cakes.
Yep. Fun times.
So, this song makes you think of little Debbie cakes with the needs of girl. So, yeah, so do I. But I digress. First of the night on this podcast. The second episode of the return of the Dunnigan Not Used to Be podcast, featuring Gerald. So, I digress. Yeah, Woman Trouble Blues is a really, really good song. That's pretty much all I have. Really good song. Then we'll move to the next track. Looking for Love, Steven A.
This crap is not blues. And I'm going to read you from my notes. This is going to be another special episode of verbatim notes. You ready? Number 14. One of the premier dumbest, stupidest, bodacious, retarded, horrendous songs I've ever heard in my lifespan on Mars. Not all that great by any means. So, and that I might be able to say that same thing over again for the album and entire perspectives. Perspective in English. So, yep. That's it. To you, Devin.
All right. So then I'm going to take a stab at my notes. I'll read verbatim from my notes. So on March the 29th of 2021, Stephen Mott is fired from the Dunnigan Mott podcast for disagreeing with me on a great blues album by Whitesnake.
This is not
there
blues.
You go. Oh, we agreed to this. I love it. I think it's a genius freaking song. Very, very bluesy kind of track. I don't care what Steven says. Blues. And yeah, I really, really love it. I've always loved this song. It first debuted in the U.S. on the whole Greatest Hits compilation. That's where I first heard this song. So then we move to the next track, Crying in the Rain. So Steven, take this on.
Well, this one was not horrible. So I'm trying to find some good points here. I think this one I've heard before. Maybe we've done a review on it or something, or either listened to it or one. But I think I've heard it before. It might be a little bit different version or something, like maybe stripped down or something. I don't know. It sounds different than I remember. But anyway, I digress. as Devin famously says. So, and by the way, I think I might have said the wrong track number a while ago. So, I digress again. So back to you, Dev.
Alrighty, so as I kept screaming out reviewing, however that turns out, who knows? But we'd actually done a review of the album that this was originally on. It's episode number 4. Not that long. So check that one out. It actually got the news segment on it too. So I've always really loved the song. It's a great blues, and I love all the versions of the song. The 82 version, the 87 version. This is really good. Right. I love the whole little kind of effects at the beginning that go into this track. I think that really adds to it. I love it. I think I've always loved it. Fantastic. So yeah, that brings an end to this episode. So, Steven, you have any final thoughts on this thing?
0 out of 10.
Ooh.
And it could be the worst I've ever seen, heard of.
This is worse than Hot
before. This will be the last time I look at this album. The last time I ever set eyes on it, set my ear holes upon it, if I was to ever have some lame brain idea and buy this on Amazon and get it shipped to my house, I will digress, and I will not ever, I will flush it right back down the toilet again, and never to be found. So, sorry for my little rampage rant. I have these spells sometimes, I just can't help it. Non-blues crap just sets me off. So, that's it, Devin. This is your little Whitesnake tangent that you've been asking for. So here you go. Back to you.
Okay. So, Steven, I do have a question. Is this worse than Hot and Shade?
Well, no.
Well,
it's not it's not worse than Hot and Shade, and it's not worse than 5150.
what about Crazy Night?
Okay, Crazy Nights, I'd say it's got to be neck and neck. But that's just because of the song Crazy Nights. I like
what
the
about
song
Love is Sucker
itself. Well, Love is for Suckers. That
came
one,
out.
That one, without not giving too much away, it was pretty dumb. I mean, on my part. Anyway, yeah, it was probably about the same.
Leonard Skinner 91. What about that?
Oh my gosh, that I text y'all both this, you and Gerald, this every freaking day. I say 91 Skinner is horrible, or either 91 Skinner is terrible. So that sums it up, doesn't it? I think that's got to be just my 5 or 6 up there. That's got to be on the same spectrum of crap. It's called the crap spectrum.
It's colored brown too.
Yeah, that's right, Dev. So I digress.
90
back
streets.
That wasn't me. That was the Pete that said it called brown.
Oh, I know.
90 shades of brown.
So I give this album 10 out of 10. I really love this album. Probably one of my favorite albums that's done on the show so far. So, well, I'll just ask Pete, what do you think, from our opinions, Pete, what do you think of this particular album?
Interesting.
Okay. And I want you to send me a picture of mine that you're working on, where I can post it on our Facebook page, where people know what the noise that's being made. And I will put this on. So, stay tuned, people. We will be back with a picture of Pete's night here soon. So, yeah, that brings a finale to the podcast and pass it off to Pete. Let's pass it off to you since you're a guest this week. What kind of album do you pick? What album do you want people to see?
I have no idea.
Don't say 91 Skinner. Whatever.
Oh, snap.
Oh, I know what he's probably thinking. He's probably thinking Gods and Guns by Leonard
Oh,
Skinner.
yeah. That's where it's at.
Yeah, because
Oh.
he said that's the one he wanted to do. So yeah, that's the one he wants you people to listen to. Let's listen to this podcast.
Tell people.
Uh-huh.
We'll put that. Oh, Dave, what's your pick of the week?
Well, my pick of the week is going to be.
Anything but this?
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
yeah, I was not even gonna say that, but hey, well, you took the words right out of my pinhole mouth. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole any further. I digress, and my pick of the week is going to be, I have no sweet clue, but I'm just gonna make up one. I'm gonna look around my room, and I don't see any albums, so I'm out of luck. Let's see. Whitesnake, Saints and Sinners. Yeah, that's just off the top of my head. Just go listen to it. Don't ask why. And when you wake up in the middle of the night having bad dreams, you'll know why. So back to you, Devin.
Alrighty, so my pick of the week. So I noticed we aren't doing movie picks. We'll get back to that at a future time. So my
Future endeavorment.
My pick of the week this week is, I don't even know. You know what? Actually, my pick of the week is our podcast. Go listen to our podcast on YouTube at anchor.fm, even though on Anchor we've only got one listen. But I digress. Go listen to our podcast. That's our pick of the week. Go listen to other podcasts too. Rock and Roll Combat podcast. We hate movies. We watch the movie. Full Classic Horror Show. Revival House, DPM podcast. All of these great shows. Go listen to it. Yeah, free podcast. All of them. And that brings into the podcast. We hope you all enjoyed listening to this. Like, comment, subscribe. You know where to find us on YouTube or on anchor.fm. We'll be back with another episode next. So just stay tuned back. You will go. Well, let's say it together, guys. See you next time. Okay, that didn't happen. So
See you next time.
Oh, yeah. See you next time, guys. Bye-bye.